I might as well show you this. Of course, 24 years ago, if they didn't use drywall screws, they used nails. This was nailed up there, and of course I'm hitting the nail. And around the edge, so I'm going to have to modify that. I can take my Phillips screwdriver and just poke some holes around the edge, you know, and I can actually make most of the line that way quicker, and just screwing it up there, like using it as a drill, let's say, you know what I mean, and doing it like that. Okay. You know what? That bottom piece, it's a good thing I didn't go any further. Okay, the bottom piece I thought was a 2x4. It must be only 2 inches wide, and that's okay because see my screwdriver is going all the way up, but I got enough room to screw that box up there. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go kind of like this, a little bit further, chip it out, and then use my saw a little bit, use my sheetrock knife a little bit, peck, 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 chip, 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 and away I go. I'll show you in a minute how I got it lined up. Okay, I'm going to get up there and show you a close-up of it. Okay, and those TGIs were only 2 3/8 wide. See there? It's a good thing. Well, either way, I would have been okay, right? Okay, but see how this side is wider than over here, because that will allow my electrical to get in there, see? Like that. And I've already cleaned that up, and that's how that's going to go, like that, see? The drywall could have been 5/8. Lots of times, it's funny, lots of times the ceilings on drywall are 5/8, but this sure looks like 1/2 inch, doesn't it? And this is a 1/2 inch pancake box, okay? So before I just drill it up there willy-nilly, I'm going to have to mark where the ground screw is, and figure out whether or not I got enough room. I may have to drill some new 2 screws over here, because that last screw, let's see, that screw right there is barely hitting. You see what I mean? It's right on, that one right there is right on the edge. So what I'll do is I'll drill two more holes. I'll have, you know, do I really need to do that? Actually, maybe I'll just put 2 screws in here. One there, oblong, one on the far left, one on the far right, and be done with it. And 2 screws holding that whole thing up there. I think that should be fine. But if I want, see, I've got enough room to do whatever I want to do up there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. Or actually, that's not what I'm going to do next. I can leave this out for that matter. The next thing I could, I might clean up a little bit, vacuum. I'll vacuum up the floor a little bit so that I don't start traipsing this all around. And then I'll vacuum over here where I got that box out of. I'll vacuum this up, I'll vacuum that up, and I'll get set up. See, here's my fish tape. Here's my fish tape that I'm going to use. And see, I've got just enough room right there to run the fish tape, right? Straight up and right down over to there. I can keep trying that. And then worst case scenario, I could try from here that way, but chances are it's going to be really hard to fish the wire into that little tiny area. Do you see what I mean? And so I'm probably going to be better off from here going that way, but it's just kind of like trial and error. And I've got the insulation in my way. Up here I'm going to have to poke the wire up through there. I might have to take my sheetrock saw and kind of make a little hole up there for it. I think maybe that's what I should do next. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this up before I start fishing wire. I'll show you how I'm gonna do that with this thing here. I call it a fish tape. Okay, all right, step by step, we're getting it. Do you see? Does this all make sense to you so far? I'm using the smoke alarm power to power up the ceiling fan. I don't need a wall switch for the ceiling fan to turn it on and off. It's got a remote. It's got a handheld remote, fan control remote. That's handheld. Usually they give you a little plastic bracket. You can screw the bracket right to the wall, and then you can put the handheld remote right there. And then you can leave it right there. People can set it over there. They can set it over there, wherever, and then they can set it back over there. And that handheld remote will have a sensor in it. And then there's also another sensor that gets installed up at the top of the ceiling fan when we do the wiring. I'll show you all that. And then there's always going to be power up there. And then the sensor will read that. And so the handheld remote will turn it on, will turn it high, medium, and low speeds. And if you have a light kit, this one happens to have a light attached to it, then you've got a light on here, and you can dim it, you can turn it on and off, you can dim it, you can reverse the ceiling fan's direction for winter and make it go the standard way for summer. All that you can do with the fan control. You don't need a wall switch. Newsflash, you don't need a wall switch for a ceiling fan anymore. You see what I mean? Now, if they had one, fine. We would just turn the switch on, and we would leave that light switch on all the time. If that light switch ever got turned off, then your handheld remote would never work until you turn the light switch back on to allow power up there. Do you see what I mean? And so that's why I'm doing that, so I don't have to patch anything around there. I don't have to cut that out, put a cut-in box. I don't have to fish a wire from there up to here. There's no ceiling access because we're between a first and second floor. We've got the TGI floor joist with metal gussets, so I can fish the wire from here through the next ceiling joist, through the next ceiling joist. You remember, this one is 16-inch center, so there's two more joists that I got to fish my wire from there through the gusset area, and I'm pretty sure I can. Then I can reach my hand up there and grab the wire on the fish tape through there, and then I'll take my wire, my Romex wire, attach it to the fish tape, pull it back over to there, leave out, you know, a foot or so. Then I'll make up the box, push the wire up through that little plastic thing I just put on there. Through that plastic thing I just put up there. Before I do that, I'll have to drill a couple more mounting screw holes. I have to drill a hole for the ground screw so it doesn't hit the wood up there, and get that all set up before I actually mount this box up there. Okay, all right, step by step. And then I've got the new set of wires going through there. So I have 3 sets of wires: red, white, and black, red, white, and black ground, red, white, and black ground. And then I have a white and black with the ground coming into there. I'll fish it right into this other box, push that up there, screw it in against the side of the ceiling joist, the TGI, and wire it up. Reds go together, blacks go together, whites go together, grounds go together. And then when I get ready for my little adapter here for the smoke alarm, the black goes to black, white goes to white, red goes to red. And I've got the wire nuts, ground goes to ground. For all the other stuff, there's no ground that gets put onto here. And then this thing has 3 certain ones to match up with three certain little prongs there. And like I say, not all smoke alarms get installed the same way. And this is designed to fit on the round box. It's also designed to fit on a rectangular box, and lots of times the smoke alarms are on a rectangular box. Okay, and then it would have been easier for me to chop off the box and take the box down rather than all the stuff I had to do to get this round box off. I still have to snip off the sides of that on both sides so I can get it up in there and all that, and then make all that stuff up. Bing bang boom. Smoke alarm will get ready, ceiling fan will get ready, and I'll be on my way to start installing a ceiling fan. Hey, one step at a time, okay? So I think it's starting to become clear to you, and I think you can see, hey, you know what? I might be able to do that on my own. Now this is only going to work if your TGIs up there between the first and second floor are the gusset type with the metal V angle, and this thing's 16 inches, 18 inches, 20 inches tall, whatever. If that is all wood, and that one was all wood, and that one was all wood, the TJIs of all wood ones, I wouldn't be able to fish a wire through all the way to here, would I? I wouldn't be able to do that. How else could I do that? You know, with TJIs, I guess I could have taken a long drill bit and drill it from there through the side of one TGI, through the side of another TGI. It's really tricky to do that, and you have extensions on there, and then you have another little thing on the end of that, and all that kind of stuff. And that could have been possible to do from this direction, because I could have put the flexi bit through here and drill it into the next TGI, because on the TGIs, the OSB plywood in between there, you can drill holes through that. You just can't drill a hole through the top and bottom of the TJI. You see what I mean? So I would drill it through one, extend it with another extension bit on the flexi bit rod, and go through the next one. Pray that I'm not going to drill a hole through anything else. Pray that the wire, the end of the drill bit doesn't get all caught up on the insulation. Pray that I can get through the next one because I'm going at an angle, see? So I don't hit the next one like that with the drill bit. I'll never know. Pray that I don't run the drill bit up through the floor of the next floor up, because there's a floor up above that. It's not the ceiling of the roof or anything. It's the next floor where another bedroom is. You see what I mean? And so if I were to do that, then I could reach my hand through there on the flexi bit, take the end of the flexi bit off, and then they have another end that you can snap on it. Snap that on there, attach a wire through it, and then pull that flexi bit back through the holes with the wire attached. Boom, 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 boom. That might have worked. That could have worked, and I would have tried that if I needed to, okay? And so several different options, a couple different options for you if you run into TJIs. If you have a 2x12, a 2x12, a full piece of wood 2x12, I wouldn't suggest trying to drill through stuff like that. The OSB plywood on the TJIs is only 5/8 of an inch. It's not going to interfere with anything. You don't know what else is up there. You might hit a water line, you might hit a gas line, you might hit a sewer line, a drain line from the top floor coming down. So there are lots of ifs, ands, or buts doing it the other way. But I feel confident now with the way the gussets and the metal are going for these, that I'll be able to fish confidently and safely from there to there. Okay, first things first though, I've got to vacuum up. I don't want to start traipsing this stuff all around and getting it churned up and deep into the carpet, okay? Mind what you're doing, and be careful as you go, and just think before you start your next step.